Welcome back to the Thought Tapestry listeners. I think I have a kind of fun one, but I don't know. I feel like the more we dive into American history, the more it's like, huh.
Mm.
Anyway, so I saw this TikTok. I know I talk about TikTok a lot, listeners, but listen, it is what it is. Okay. So, and this girl was like, that's my cue. And in the background was playing like music and she started grabbing like cleaning supplies or whatever. And it made me laugh because she was a white girl. And she said basically when your roommate starts playing music, you know that's your cue. Okay. So the girl that said that was a white girl. And then the roommate was a black girl. And it made me laugh because it made me think about the fact that across the Black American diaspora, playing music on Saturdays to clean is kind of what we do. I don't know why we all do it, but we all do it. And more often than not, it's going to be soul music.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, some of that soul music comes from the one and only Motown Records.
Yeah.
All right. So, founded by Berry Gordy Jr. as Tamla Records on January 12, 1959, it was incorporated as Motown Record Corporation on April 14, 1960. Its name is a portmanteau, and that's actually a word that just recently came back into my vocabulary, and I love it. And a portmanteau is basically the combining of two words, so motor and town. And that was the nickname of Detroit, which was considered the center of the automotive industry in the US and where the record label was originally headquartered. All right, so a little bit about Mr. Berry Gordy. His interest in the record business began when he opened a record store called the 3D Record Mart. And this was a shop where he hoped to educate customers about the beauty of jazz in Detroit, Michigan. Although the shop did not last very long, Gordy's interest in the music business didn't fade. He frequented Detroit's downtown nightclubs, and in the Flame Show Bar, he met bar manager Al Green. Not the same Al Green, but I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
This Al Green owned a music publishing company called Pearl Music and represented Detroit's based musician Jackie Wilson. Gordy soon became part of a group of songwriters with his sister Gwen Gordy and Billy Davis, who wrote songs for Wilson. And in 1957, November 1957, actually, Reet Petite was released and it became their first major hit. During the next 18 months, Gordy helped to write 6 more Wilson A-sides, including Lonely Teardrops, a peak hit. And in 1957, he met Smokey Robinson, who was a local 17-year-old singer fronting a vocal harmony group called the Matadors. Gordy was interested in the doo-wop style that Robinson sang, and in 1958, he recorded the group's song Got a Job, which was an answer to the song Get a Job by the Silhouettes. This was released as a single, and it was released by leasing the record to a larger company outside of Detroit called In Records, which was based in New York. This was a common practice at the time for small town producers. Got a Job was the first single by Robinson's group, which they had now renamed to the Miracles. And Gordy went on to record a number of other records by forging a similar arrangement, leasing them out, and then collecting what may come. And most of this happened with United Artists, which I don't know. I can't even believe it was already established at that time, but whatever. Let's see. Okay, so in 1958, Gordy wrote and produced Come to Me for Marv Johnson. Seeing that the song had crossover appeal, he leased it again to United Artists for national distribution, but also released it locally on his own startup imprint. Needing $800, which is around $8,600 in today's money, to cover his end of the deal, he asked his family to borrow the money from a cooperative of family savings account. And I thought that's so cool. I mean, we kind of talked about that in our previous episode, how like pooling funds is definitely a Black thing. Anyway, after some debate, his family agreed, and in January 1959, Come to Me was released regionally on Gordy's new Tamla label. In April 1959, Gordy and his sister Gwen also founded Anna Records, which released about 24 singles between 59 and 60. The most popular was the Barrett Strong's Money, That's What I Want, written by Gordy and a secretary of his named Janie Bradford. Gordy worked in various Detroit-based studios during his period to produce recording and demos, but most prominently with United Sound Systems, which was considered the best studio in town. However, producing there was financially taxing and not appropriate for every job, so Gordy decided it would be most cost-effective to maintain his own facility. He purchased a photography studio at 2648 West Grand Boulevard and converted the main floor into a recording studio and office space. The studio would become Motown's Hitsville, USA studio. The photography studio, located in the back of the property, was modified into a small recording studio, and the Gordys moved into the second floor living quarters. Within 7 years, Motown would occupy 7 additional neighboring houses and grow to include over 450 employees with a gross income of $20 million by the end of 1966. He was doing it. Smokey Robinson became the vice president of the company, and by the middle of the decade, Gwen and Anna Gordy had joined the label in administrative positions as well. Gordy's partner at the time and wife from 1960 to 1964, Renoma Lyles, also played a key role in the early days of Motown, leading the company's first session group, the Rare Voices, and overseeing Jobette. Early Tamla Motown artists included Mabel, John, Eddie, Holland, and Mary Wells. Shop Around, the Miracles' first #1 R&B hit, peaked at #2 on the Billboard 100 in 1960. It was Tamla's first million-selling record, and on April 14, 1960, Motown and Tamla Records merged into a new company called Motown Record Company. From 1961 to 1971, Motown had 110 top 10 hits. Top artists on the label during that period included The Supremes, which was also The Supremes with Diana Ross, like the Supremes.
Yeah.
Let's see. It included the Four Tops and the Jackson 5. Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, the Marvettes, and the Miracles had hits on the other label, Tamla. The company operated several labels in addition to the Tamla and Motown imprints, including a third label, which Gordy named after himself, though it was originally called Miracle. And this featured the Temptations, the Contours, Edwin Starr, and Martha and the Vandellas. In 1967, Berry Gordy purchased what was now known as Motown Mansion in Detroit's Boston Edison Historic District as his home, leaving his previous home to his sister Anna and her then husband, Marvin Gaye, where photos for the cover of Marvin Gaye's album, What's Going On, were taken. After the songwriting trio Holland, Dozier, Holland left the label in 1967 over royalty payment disputes, Norman Whitfield became the company's top producer, turning out hits for The Temptations, Marvin Gaye, Gladys Knight and the Pips, and Rare Earth. In the meantime, Berry Gordy established Motown Productions, a television subsidiary which produced specials for the Motown artists, including TCB and Diana Ross and the Supremes and the Temptations, Diana with Diana, and Going Back to Indiana with the Jackson 5. The company loosened its production rules, allowing some of its longtime artists the opportunity to write and produce more of their own material. This resulted in the recordings of successfully and critically acclaimed albums such as Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, Let's Get It On, and Stevie Wonder's Music of My Mind, Talking Back, and Inner Visions. All good ones, right?
Yes.
Following the events of the Detroit riots of 1967 and the loss of key songwriting production team that year over royalty disputes, on June 14, 1972, the company announced that it was moving all of its operations to Los Angeles, and a handful of artists moved with the label. By relocating, Motown aimed to branch out into the motion picture industry, and Motown production got its starts in film by turning out 2 hits for Diana Ross: the Billie Holiday biographical film Lady Sings the Blues, and Mahogany. Other Motown films would include Scott Joplin, Thank God It's Friday, The Wiz, and The Last Dragon. There were some detractors about the move west. John McClain, an A&M Records executive, opined that Motown leaving its birth city marked a decline in the label's quality. Something happened when Motown left Detroit and came to Los Angeles, he said. They quit being innovators and started following trends. Before, Barry had a much more hands-on approach, and maybe you lose some of your desire after you get to a certain level financially. Despite losing Holland, Dozier, and Holland, Motown still had a number of successful artists during the 70s and 80s, including Lionel Richie and the Commodores, Rick James, Tina Marie, the Dazz Band, Jose Feliciano, and DeBarge. By the mid-1980s, Motown had started losing money, and Berry Gordy sold his ownership in Motown to MCA Records, which began a North American distribution deal with the label in '83, and Boston Ventures in June '88 for $61 million. In 1989, Gordy sold the Motown Productions TV and film operations to Motown exec Susan DePaz, who renamed the company DePaz Entertainment and continued to run it as of until 2018. Gordy continued to retain the Jobette music publishing catalog, selling it to EMI Music Publishing in parts between 1997 and 2004. During the 90s, Motown was home to successful recording artists such as Boyz II Men and Johnny Gill, although the company itself remained in a state of turmoil. MCA appointed a series of execs to run the company, beginning with Barry's immediate successor, Gerald Busby. Busby quarreled with MCA, alleging that the company did not give Motown's product adequate attention or promotion. In 1991, Motown sued MCA to have its distribution deal with the company terminated and began releasing its product through Polygram. Polygram purchased Motown from Boston Ventures 3 years later. By 1998, Motown had added stars such as 702, Brian McKnight, and Erykah Badu to its roster. But in December of 1998, Polygram was acquired by Seagram, and Motown was absorbed into the Universal Music Group. Seagram had purchased Motown's former parent company, MCA, in 1995, and Motown was in effect reunited with many of its MCA corporate siblings. Universal briefly considered shuttering the label, but instead decided to restructure it. Kadar Massenberg, a producer for Erykah Badu, became the head of the label and oversaw successful recordings from Badu, McKnight, Michael McDonald, and new Motown artist India Ari. Yeah. In mid-2011, Universal Motown reverted to the Motown brand after having been separated from Universal Motown Republic Group, hired Ethiopia Haptoramiramius. I'm sorry, I know I butchered that, girl, but I bet you rock. Its senior vice president, and operated under the Deaf Island Jam Music Group. Artists from the Universal Motown were transferred to the newly revitalized Motown label. On April 1, 2014, it was announced that Island Def Jam would no longer be running following the resignation of CEO Barry Weiss. A press release sent out by Universal Music Group announced that the label would now be reorganizing Def Jam Recordings, Island Recordings, and Motown Records as separate entities. Motown would then begin serving as a subsidiary of Capitol Record, and in late 2018 began celebrating its 60th anniversary by reissuing numerous albums from their catalog. In 2021, Motown separated from the Capitol Music Group to become a standalone label once again. Brought it all the way back around. As of 2023, acts signed to Motown include City Girls, Migos, Little Baby, Little Yachty, Smino, Vince Staples, Young Boy Never Broke Again, and several other artists in the hip-hop and rap R&B genre. Motown played a vital role in the racial integration of popular music as an African-American-owned label that achieved crossover success with its white audiences. In the 60s, Motown and its main subsidiary labels were the most prominent exponents of what became known as the Motown sound, a style of soul music with a mainstream pop-influenced sound and appeal. Motown was the most successful soul music label with a net worth of $61 million by 1988. Between 1960 and 1969, Motown had 79 songs reach the top 10 of the Billboard Top 100. And that is the story of the little label out of Detroit that could.
Oh, good old Detroit.
Good old Detroit. I actually feel like we should do a whole episode on Detroit because That black ass city used to be humming and thrumming.
It did. I bet.
Building
I
cars to
bet.
the sound of
Of
soul. Like, can't you
Motown.
just see that?
Oh, yes. The fuel that keeps it going. Yeah, girl. And when you were saying the names of some of the like Jobette, like
Mhm.
I looking through like my memory about my parents' record collection, and I could see all these names and on the record label, and that kind of brought it back.
Isn't that
Yeah,
cool?
it's really cool. Yeah, yeah. For many years, my mom, when I was growing up, she thought that people in our family thought that Jackie Wilson was our cousin. So while I was
Mm-hmm.
growing up, they used to refer to him as our cousin Jackie. And I guess just recently we found out that he's not really a cousin of ours, but girl, all my life I just thought, Jackie Wilson was my cousin.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And you know that we got some roots here with, even with my Uncle Marlo that used to play for like Stevie Wonder, and
Hmm. Hmm.
he's played for like Michael Jackson, like all these
Hmm.
people. So we, in our family, we had it all. Like all the
Hmm.
records, everything. I used to read liner notes, like, like people read the
Yes.
cereal box,
Same.
like, let
Same.
me see who's on here. Like, who is like, I wanted to know all the names. I wanted to know who the producer was. I could pick up like the sound. I'm like, oh, this sounds like so and so. I just, we just love music. And look, how music brought the people to the yard. They wanted to know more, they wanted to integrate. And I'm sure
Okay, that's funny that you bring that up.
they
Girl,
wanted
is
to
our
get some
podcast
of
going to get
this.
us canceled before it really takes off? Are
It's a
we?
passion
Because
project.
I was
They
just
gotta
thinking
cancel
that
us.
though, like it's my pattern recognition.
There you go. Pattern
And
recognition.
it is telling me that every single enterprise that we started once we
Uh-huh.
got really free in the 60s, once a different entity got involved,
Jim
our
left.
entity, yeah, became crap. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean?
mm, mm.
Once we started swimming in the ocean with everybody,
Yeah. Got all diluted.
listen, equality didn't do shit for us.
It
It
really
really
did.
didn't. We really
Yes.
didn't. Well, actually, integration didn't do shit for us. We really just wanted to have what they have and live our lives. We didn't necessarily need to live it with them because, like, there's not. And every single episode, this might happen, but I was just about to say, is there a black record label? Let's
Nowadays,
see. Yeah,
type it in, girl.
we gotta look it up.
You gotta look it up. You got
Let's
to.
see.
I mean, the last one that I would say, the last two that I know for sure was Death Row and Bad Boy, and then what's the name? Jay-Z and them, Rockefeller. But
Oh, but are they
I
actually black
I don't
owned
know if they're
though?
all standalone. But I know that they were part of the conglomerate, so they may not be any since Motown. There might have been some smaller ones like Stax or something like that, but I don't know. Do see what you see, girl.
You know,
Survey says.
well, what's really funny is I'm having a hard time looking it up, not because it doesn't exist, but because I tried to break up with Google. And so on my phone, I use Bing as my search engine. And for some things, it is so
Yes.
great. And for other things, it's like, oh, that's
Uh-huh.
not at all
It's
what I was
like
looking
under.
for. Let us see. Okay, so Black Swan. Whoa, that was from the 20s. Okay. Motown, which we just talked about from the 60s. And
Uh-huh.
then Success Records. What year is that? 75. Okay, I don't think there is one.
There you go. I think you got them all. Motown, Black Swan, DJ, Sauce House. I don't know where that is.
What years are
Contemporary.
those?
It doesn't say Sauce House and Rowdy. I think I remember Rowdy. Let me see what the dates. So,
I mean,
oh,
it honestly shouldn't be this hard to look it up. So I think that's our answer, right?
oh my goodness.
Isn't that
Yeah, Rowdy
crazy?
Records. Dallas Austin owns Rowdy Records, but Bjorn is a label Sauce House, but it doesn't speak about who's on those labels. Girl.
Okay, so one then? Who's on Dallas Austin's
Girl, I
label?
don't know who's on there. It doesn't even say, it just says Here, let's see. Because I would say, oh, this is, yeah, that's
No, because listen, I just
1920s.
found it says Rowdy Records is a record label distributed through Motown Records. So,
Oh man, T-Neck Records was where the Isley Brothers came from. That's one. Philadelphia International Records, where MSSB came from, mother, father, sister, brother. Let's
what year
see.
was that?
This was in 1973.
Kiki.
Oh, they
Okay,
were
so
1964 actually.
see? So what happened? This is what I am historically it seems to me what happened was we we survived slavery.
We did.
We survived Jim Crow. We were able to move into the civil rights era, and that's when we started doing for our own. And boy, oh boy, did that cause a ruckus.
Did.
Because that's when everything stopped happening, was
It
around the
did.
60s and 70s, because they were like, holy shit.
They doing stuff.
And so then they start redlining cities and, you know what I mean? Making it very hard to get home loans. And that's actually really kind of a bummer. That's kind of the bummer of the history of this country, is just like, how could we possibly ever ignore that? Like, I don't understand how people can ignore that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like kind of blatant. Because I'm looking at this record label, and it's like the moment they got involved with United Artists or like Universal, they weren't paying people, producers were dipping, like, you know what I mean? But before that, for 20 years,
they were strong. They were
churning
doing
out some hits.
Churning out hits, groundbreaking.
Innovators.
Innovators.
So, yikes. I don't know.
There's not anything that can go on in this country that doesn't really go back to the sound, the Motown sound.
There's so little. There is so little. There is so little. I mean, it literally says that they're the ones.
Do you remember music before? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened before Motown Records? I'm sure it was a lot of Ramalama Ding Dongs, perhaps, but
it was a lot of
sound.
like Billie Holiday-esque. That's what it was. It was like Billie Holiday.
Dinah Washington, probably like some crooning.
Yes. I mean, it was beautiful, but you didn't want to shake your body to it. You were probably off crying somewhere.
Ooh, crying in the corner.
Crying.
Dude. Yeah, we know about Billie Holiday was up to. So, yeah. Sad situation.
Well, speaking about what people were up to. One of the things that I was like, I meant to do this, but I didn't. And that was like, look up like Berry Gordy's scandals.
Ooh.
Because I thought he really got into wasn't he kind of a naughty boy?
He was a very naughty boy. Of course, we all know that he has a love child with Diana Ross, and he really used to put Diana Ross up on a pedestal. He really used to pit Diana Ross against them other girls. He had it so that everybody wanted to fight her. There's some stories of back in the day. They like, we just, and I'm sure he probably, was having that pillow talk. He was probably telling her, "Oh, you're the best singer.
You're the one. You can go solo. You don't need these girls.
She don't need these girls." And then he probably talked about the money they were making, and you got to split it 3 ways. And she was like, "What the fuck am I going to do that for? You told me I was the best. Everybody wants to see Diana. Nobody knows the other girls." But I'm sure. But yeah, Berry Gordy had that girl gone.
Wait, so who is the love child?
It's the child that is the first child of Diana Ross. She's a girl. I don't know what her name is.
Oh, she is. I actually just saw her, funnily enough, on TikTok. And she's apparently a singer. And they put her up in this hotel, and it was like, and the husband was recording, and he was just like, the perks of being this person's wife. It was like huge.
Fabulous.
It was like insane. I'm gonna send
Oh,
it to you because I was like, I didn't even know she was a performer.
I knew that she can sing because I know sometimes back in the day when watching the Grammys or watching some kind of award show, she
Hmm.
would say bring her up and she would get on the mic or whatever. But yeah, Diana Ross was that girl. She was the it girl. I feel like she was one of those like true
Diva,
fashionista
a true
and a
diva.
true diva. And girl, like I said, somebody got in that ear. I'm sure it was Barry Gordy told her, like, girl, you are the it.
Oh, her name is
Penelope. What is it, girl?
Rhonda Penelope.
Rhonda. Ooh, girl, I
Girl.
don't know, girl. You know how they used to have some names? I mean, name it. Okay,
Yes, I'm
Rhonda.
gonna send you that video so you can see Rhonda because she is still living very, very
Fabulous.
fabulously. And it's
Okay.
probably some of it's I mean, she obviously would have inherited some Gordy money, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
She's
she's
in there for
set up
sure.
for life. I am actually kind of fascinated by all of that like old like especially like black old
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood. Do you know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
think about like we read these names like it was kind of a who's who like Lionel Richie. Remember, I was fascinated with him because I'm kind of obsessed with his daughter Nicole Richie.
Mm-hmm.
But then you hear like their story of how Nicole came to be his daughter. Like things were so like the 70s and
Scandalous.
80s were so scandalous, but in a
There's
kind of like a fun way though. You know what I
uh-huh.
mean? It was
Uh-huh.
definitely more scandal. There, well, I'm sure there was some like darkness to it, but there was
Mm-hmm.
also just the scandal just seemed juicy.
Yeah.
It was complete as opposed to just being like dark. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's so many like even now on YouTube there's so many channels that talk about the celebrity tea from back in the day
Mm-hmm.
and stuff you never because we had what do you have some Ebony magazines, we had some Jet magazines, and if you
Mm-hmm.
didn't get those two magazines then you just were
Yeah.
missing out on the tea. But there
Yeah.
was so much going on because I remember even in the 80s reading about your friend Lionel Richie and his
Mm-hmm.
wife and how he went over there. The wife went over to the mistress's house
Yes,
and
and
was like,
caught them.
yes, and she was like,
Yeah,
I don't know if she had a gun or she was, she was
I
banging though.
remember
She was
that
like, send them out.
story.
Like it was crazy.
I
What's her
remember that
name?
story.
What's her name?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my God. But yeah,
It'll come to me. It'll
she
come
was
to me.
about it. She was about it,
Hmm.
about it. Mm-hmm.
A
And
lot of
then
them
even like
were.
with the scandal with Marvin Gaye marrying Barry Gordy's
Mm,
sister. And I remember hearing a story that they were telling him, "Not you don't want him. Marvin is a
mhm.
wild stud. Like he cannot be tamed. You don't want him,
Yeah.
girl. He's too young for you. You should, find somebody more your age." And she was like, "I want her. I want him. I want him." She got him and had him. And then he was still, doing philandering, going on the road.
Wait, so what do you know what the age difference was?
Oh, it was May, December, girl. They was apart. Let me
May to
see.
December?
Girl,
No.
it was a gap. I'll tell you that. It was a gap. Let me see. Anna Gordy.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Let's see.
Oh, she's cute.
She was very
Oh
cute.
my
All his
God.
sisters were cute. Let's see. Okay. You don't tell the age.
Oh, she was 41 and he was 24. Damn.
May, December, girl. It
She
was
looked
off.
great.
She looked great, right? Girl, just think. And still Marvin Gaye was out there doing whatever he was doing, going
Of
on
course, because
tour,
he was
meeting
so
women. He
young.
was
Like,
so
there's no
young.
way that he was going to
You
be
were not
faithful to her.
wrangling that boy, but they told her she still wanted him. And then when they did get a divorce, it was because he found his new wife with this young chick. She was very young, and then she was like, Anna. She had like I don't think it was like what was considered a prenup at that time, but she had something.
Ooh, you
And
think?
yeah, I don't know if it was called a prenup then though. But yeah, he had to pay. And he had to make a record that was called for Hear My Dear. It girl, if you ever listen to that record, it's the saddest fucking
What was it? Was it like what's the tune of it? Why did he
Girl,
make
it's
it?
like, baby, girl, because he needed to make money to pay her. Girl, that's
Oh, after they
why.
got divorced? Wait, was the
Yes.
money for Anna Gordy or for his new wife,
No,
Janice?
it was for Anna Gordy. He had to pay her.
Oh, so was he begging her to like
No, he
let her
was just
foot off his
saying
neck?
like, it's over. I'm sorry. I did
Oh,
it. I didn't mean to make you cry,
listen,
girl.
listen.
All
I'm
the things.
bring back the crooners. You
Girl.
can, if listen, if y'all are gonna be the dogs out here that y'all are, at least be able to
Ooh.
hold a tune,
Talk just girl, I
sing
wish
to
I
us
had
about it, and
talk
maybe we
about it.
can get somewhere. You know what I
Sing
mean?
to the girls in the back.
Because
Tell them
they just
because this is
inflict
this is
all the
what like
pain, and we don't get any of the reward.
nothing. Not even a wah,
This ain't dedicated to the
wah,
one
wah,
I
wah, wah,
love.
wah, wah, baby.
No, but honestly,
You're
we really do need to bring
mine,
back the Lover
mine.
Boys.
Yes, none of that. We do.
We need to bring
Give
them
us
back.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't be
Give
doing
us a little
do
tune. Think about me, cry about me while you tell me you don't want me
yes.
anymore. I'll take it. Make us post some money.
It
I'll take it.
top 10. Hell, did we
Mhm.
did it? Oh.
You know, what I was also thinking, because I do love the scandal. I don't know. I like to observe scandal. I just don't like scandal in my life. I'm very much that like save the drama for your
Yeah.
mama, keep it away from me. But other than with my popcorn, like hell yeah. So maybe I should not be so into it. But one of the things that I will also say, once we kind of lost control, once ownership transferred out of Black hands in terms of Black music, because the facts are like, even though Black people aren't owning any of the labels producing the music, we're still producing quite a bit of the music. I should have done the stats. I bet it's very much like the NFL stats. Like 75% of the music produced is Black music. 25% of Black people have any type of ownership, you know?
Yeah.
But I also feel like it got seedier. You know what I mean? Like, I think that something happened and they started just letting like all kinds of grodies in. Because I mean, think about Diddy, you know?
Yeah. Oh Lord. Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Just think
do
about
you
it too.
think, oh,
Come on now.
okay.
Hot takes.
Do you think that that type of degradation was always like, do you think that was happening at Motown, or do you think it's like the new breed dudes that brought it to music?
Just like in our last episode, we talked about the craft. And I think it always has existed some darkness and some kind of harvesting energies. And when you figure out what can make you go up a level, you're going to want to harness it. And you're going to seek it out. You're going to find it. You're going to try to harness it. And so it can be yours. So I'm thinking it was always kind of, I don't know, like all the Barry Gordy's secrets, like what he was doing, all the lore. But from what the new kids have been, they had to learn from somebody. Because even with people talking about Quincy Jones and how Quincy Jones used to have these little rituals that he would do and things like that, and he would tap into certain energies at certain times. So,
and he would have like parties that were like like Quincy Jones is maybe he's the reason why everyone thinks that about like the Illuminati when they think of artist. Okay, so do we think that's what it is? Is that the power that they're tapping into is like Illuminati power?
I think it is.
How much do you know about the Illuminati?
I don't really, well, there was a time when I was trying to find out about different secret societies and religions and stuff like that. And pretty much a thing about the Illuminati, I think they let people have their own imagination, let their imagination grow wild. There's nothing really, what we call a secret society it's a secret for a reason. And the people that can keep the secrets are the ones that they let in. The people that got loose lips, they will not.
I agree. Or they off them. I mean, let's be honest, because
there you go.
we will never know. We're never going to know. Like, there can
Mm-mm.
be all kinds of conspiracies, but anyone that's like trying to leave isn't going to have enough time to talk about what happened. It's
Right.
kind of like Scientology. Remember how that guy just like, where is his wife? And how come no one is talking about the fact that she's just been out, air quotes, out of the public eye for decades? So that's what they
Nowhere
do to
to be
them. Like, she might have
found.
said something. She probably said one thing one time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like
Mm-hmm.
out
They got,
for
hey.
for.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm
So
sure,
yeah,
like, behind the closed doors, they probably have, some kind of oath or whatever.
oh
And
yeah.
just like even when
Hmm.
when we talk about a lot of people talk about like back in the days when did you know people just used to just drop. Like, why would grandma's husband just die of poison? Because people used to get poisoned.
Hmm.
There was no
They were killing them
forensics.
all the
There were
time.
no autopsies. So, and then you cut the brake lines and then hell,
Yes.
who's doing
Yeah.
that investigation?
There
Like a
were
lot of singers
so many ways.
mysterious crashes.
So many ways to
Yo, there's so many ways.
get rid of people.
Mm,
And the thing about these societies is a lot of them are as old as this country, older because
yeah,
they got brought
yeah,
over. And so
yes.
there's also a lot of wealth too. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
they really can just disappear people or make a problem go away. We don't
Hmm.
have, the common person doesn't have a clue about how they're
Right.
really being run, but I do believe they exist. I think there are quite a few in the collegiate space, like some of these older
Oh,
Ivy
for
League
sure.
institutions. Harvard
For
has one
sure.
for sure. Princeton has
Mm-hmm.
one for sure.
Mm-hmm. And
You
just
know?
think of this. Record companies, they work with contracts.
Hmm.
And if you break the word contract down in the English, Latin, whatever, it's not a good thing when you sign a
Also,
contract.
I actually think it does mean something like nebulous, like to sign your soul away or
Mm-hmm. You're
something.
like,
Um,
and you're
what's
literally
weird
signing your
too.
name on the dotted line saying that you're going to abide by this. It's
And
binding.
what's crazy is it is your personhood.
Uh-huh.
It's not like buying a car. You know what I mean? It's like your
Right.
personhood. It's like literally like your voice. Like you're literally like signing your voice and your mind over to someone. And as we have
Yeah.
seen time and time again, they will not pay you well for it.
They
That's
won't.
one
You'll
of the
be
things
working
that I
until
do
you go to
think,
the grave.
yes, or just
Did you
take it from
see
you and you never ever get to benefit from it. Like
did you
that's
see
what I
Gladys
don't
Knight, how
know.
she's slipping?
Yes.
It's so sad. Why would you have to
That's one
still
of the
get up on
things.
stage if you didn't make
Oh,
millions of money, millions of dollars for selling records, and now you
it's
still got to go
also
on tour?
it's like who's the other guy that's still performing? Like the old guy.
I think one of the Isley brothers, like he's still like sitting on the stage, like
Oh
this song,
yeah,
yeah.
it might have been him.
Hmm.
Why do we think she's still performing?
I think her husband is the
That's
one.
actually really sad.
Yeah, she has her son. He was talking about her because this is a new husband. This isn't the old husband. Like, this is a new guy that she's married to, but he's got her out there, and who knows what he's doing with it, squandering her funds. You know how the women get taken.
I do because they're so desperate for
We have so many
love.
examples. Mary J. Blige. The list could go on and on. When they get a woman and trap her,
It's so
and then
sad.
Svengali the fuck out of her and shit.
They really do. They really do. But she's okay. So Gladys is worth about 8 million, which you're right.
Mm.
After a career in music is far too little.
Hmm.
Patti LaBelle is worth like 20 million
Oh,
for
and that's
comparison.
probably with her companies too, like with her branding and
Hmm.
things like that. Yeah, Patty's always
But
had
also,
something.
I do think we have to acknowledge the fact that they were not paying us.
No.
Like, yeah, those contracts had us really selling your soul. Whoa,
Hmm.
Lionel Richie's worth 200 million.
Are you
Good
for
for
real?
you. Good for you, Lionel.
This probably
And
broke the
let's see,
hits.
Stevie Wonder is worth, oops, same, 200 mil.
Okay.
And let's see how much our good friend Barry Gordy is worth.
Oh Lord.
Whoa, 400.
Ooh. Ooh,
Bravo
double.
to you, Mr. Gordy.
Yeah.
But you should have negotiated a better contract for Gladys. What the fuck?
Gladys, she's the one in the founding, right? For Motown. She was on
Yeah,
the
she was
first
up in
roster.
there. I'm talking about
Oh,
in it.
yes. Yeah, that was her.
Um, so yeah,
Oh,
that's kind
little
of a bummer. But I
Gladys.
feel like they just weren't giving them new contracts. Oh, but what I wanted to say is, Taylor Swift. She's always
Oh,
in the news. Like
Lord.
I don't
Mm,
have,
mm.
one of her albums that came out, I really enjoyed. But otherwise, I'm not. She's just not in my rotation. She's not
No.
someone that I listen to.
There's
Whatever.
not a
I don't.
song that I can, besides if it was on the album 1987, but that was when Journey was like, what, how old was she? Like 7 or 8?
I think that's the album that I too liked.
Yeah. Hmm.
I listen, I don't want the Swifties coming for me because they are,
They're a vicious lot.
but
Should
I
I
will
compare them to
say
the Beehive? Like, I think they're more vicious. Hell.
they are more vicious because they're white, so
Hmm.
they have more power. Just kidding. I'm not kidding, but just kidding.
No, dude.
So anyway, okay, I'm not even talent aside, whatever. She is, I think that her business acumen in terms of like ownership has literally needs to be studied, and I'm sure people have, because
Hmm.
she used to be under that label, and when she tried to like get ownership of her label, the dude was like, no, you can't have it, and not only that, we're locking him away and throwing away the key. You're never going to get these motherfuckers. And I mean,
Uh-huh.
if they're doing that to people like Taylor Swift, black artists are getting screwed over. But I
There
gotta
was no,
say,
no competition.
Homegirl, she boss ladied up and said, okay, then I'm going to
Hmm.
recreate all of this shit on my own.
Hmm.
And if that
Yeah.
is not one of the most beautiful fuck yous to the man,
Hmm.
and I think about that. I actually think about that a lot because I'm like, imagine you're powerful you would feel after that.
Oh, yeah.
No one could ever tell
Unstoppable.
you anything because it's essentially changing the music industry. And now
Hmm.
everyone who thinks about contracts has to think about the fact that like they tried to really screw one of the most successful pop artists over. So I need to make sure that I'm okay. So I really do hope
Hmm.
that people are kind of taking that into consideration. I doubt they are because it's always so much easier to just sign on the dotted line because
Yeah.
everything looks and feels so big at the
And
time.
I'm sure they're telling these people like, "Oh, you're gonna be a star and you're gonna be a millionaire, and all you want to do is, maybe you have a little, I think I might be able to sell this record. I think it's really good. My people think it's really good. What do you think?"
Hmm.
And they're like, "Oh yes, you're gonna be a star. You're gonna make
Yeah.
millions of dollars, and all you got to do is sign this contract." And they're like, "Well, can I take it to?" Because a lot
Yeah.
of the
Can I get a
movies have
lawyer?
that scene where they're
Yeah.
getting ready and something jostles them.
Tells
Maybe
them.
their ancestors are like
Yeah.
hitting them in the back. Don't fucking sign
Yeah.
that shit. Shit, take that shit to a lawyer or have your lawyer come down. And then, God forbid, you get a lawyer that's already in the loop because that happens too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll
Yep.
get them to,
They'll
oh,
recommend them. Yep.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
just go. He's, Sal, he's a great lawyer.
Yes.
Used to be the prosecutor, for God's sake. Yeah, he's reputable. Oh, and yeah, then you sign, and then you fucked in the game. Yeah, it happens all the time.
Oh, I'm sure it happens. And I also feel like they sometimes go out of their way to coerce you. Like you've heard that story about Rihanna, right? Like she's told it
Hmm.
often how she says that Jay-Z wanted her to sign that contract so
Yeah,
bad that he joked about
yeah,
throwing her out the window.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Oh, I'm just kidding. Not really.
You
Huh.
have to, as a woman in that industry, fuck it, as a woman in literally every industry, but as a
Every
woman in that industry, you have to really have some good people
You
around you.
do. You really do.
Because damn.
Protectors.
Yeah. Because
Somebody
imagine you're
that's
just in those
yeah.
studios and those very male centric spaces and like soundproof booths and shit. Like,
Grimy
damn.
red rooms. Fuck
Yeah.
knows.
There's drink and drugs and it's just,
Drugs.
it's not, it
That's what
doesn't
I
seem.
say. Like I know, my daughter. Journey. She wants to be. She's always wanted to act, and now
Hmm.
she's singing. She has a great voice. She's a little voice of a little angel, but I'm damn sure not gonna go send her up with nobody. Oh, I'm gonna send my daughter to your suite so you can give her some lessons about what. What wouldn't you took? I'm going. I told her anywhere you want to go. If you ever decide to break into this industry, I'm fucking going. And
That's what
we're
I
vetting
told.
it. We're looking around. We're
Yes.
looking for cameras. We are doing our own
Yes.
investigation
We're going to be
because we
smart
cannot
about
be
it.
caught slipping. Because once you take that innocence and that's gone,
And they like to get them when they're young too, so they can do exactly that.
yeah.
That's the same thing with my niece Brianna. You know, she's a dancer. She wants to go to like a dance school, but her ultimate goal is to be like a singer actor. And at one point, she was like looking at schools in LA, and I was like, oh God, here we go. Because baby girl, I don't think you're ready for LA. So we'll see where she ends up, but it very much is that. She's lucky because her mother, me, you know, nothing's gonna get over on us. But I just feel like sometimes these artists come from such like dire situations that they really will just take whatever they can. It's very much like our episode on the NFL, even though I don't think we talked about this a lot, but they do tend to, you know, they like, which shit, all kinds of thoughts are floating through my head because I was just about, this is the train of thought was like, because it does always seem that they are disenfranchised who they seem to target.
Yeah.
And then I thought about, well, that's probably why they want to keep us disenfranchised.
Exactly.
You know?
So we can do the work later.
We are playing a rigged game. We really are.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's crazy. If we think about it, if we really break it down.
But they still think that they can just still like, dude, haven't you done enough? Like, just leave us the fuck alone. That's why I said, like, when I texted you the other day, we could be segregated. We could, but they gonna be trying to get up all in there. What they doing over there?
All of them.
How many people are over there? Do they have a contract? Oh, do they have a license to do what they're doing?
It's strange behavior because
there's some strange behavior. They have these things with fishing. They're out by the water and they have these poles stuck in the water and I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, they will. They'll make it sound like the most egregious shit. No, I saw this video and it was crazy because this white guy was in a car and it broke down. And so this Mexican guy pulls up and he's like, hey, yo, can I help you out? And the white guy starts being violently racist. And then the Mexican's just dogging him out though. Like, listen, you could say all the things you want, but you're stuck on the side of the road needing help. And the white guy's like, why don't I call your dad? Yeah, go mow my lawn. Just the basic racist bullshit. And then he gets out of his car and he comes around to the guy. And he's like, yeah, police, I just want to say he's filming. I don't think he actually called the police. He's just filming. But he's like, yeah, I just want to say he just pulled out a gun. But. Like, it was so easy for that man to slip into that character.
Yeah.
He literally was just, and I heard him say that. And no one, because I think most of the people interacting weren't Black, like the Blacks hadn't found the post yet. But I, as a Black person, was like, oh my God. And no one seemed to pick up on that. But I'm like, that's how they are.
Similar story.
It's like, there's got to be some kind of code or something where they're like, if you meet a person of color, especially a Black person, say they have a weapon. We'll be there for you.
They hit you. Yeah. Because I was watching a video too. This Black lady at a Love's truck stop going to visit her son week after week. She goes in there, takes a shower, dresses up, goes sees her son. The people in there know her. They know, like, their timing. They know she's going to be here once a week. She drives up in a Mercedes. That's, that was already, like, a Black lady in a Black Mercedes. Oh, a nice car. Oh, shit. Oh, boy came up talking about, your music is a little loud. Don't you think you should turn it down? And she said, literally, boom, hit the button. Thank God for the button. So she hit the button on the record to record his ass. So he goes, they're going back and forth. He's like, sir, I'm minding my own business. Why are you in the business that does not pay you? Like, why are you in my business? So he's like, you need to turn that music down. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, she goes off.
Wait, was this just a regular dude? Like,
just a regular dude in a white truck. Just a regular dude in a white truck.
Usual suspects. Hashtag.
The usual suspects. So anyway, she's recording this whole interaction, and he says, I'm going to call the police and tell them that you hit me. And she reported that. Thank God. Because she's like, sir, do you want to do that? Because that's like you're filing a false complaint. And so he's like, I'm going to call the police or whatever. So I guess she went back in the store and she's like, hey, I don't know what's going on. This lady was like literally 10 feet away from this guy. So anyway, then the cops roll up on here asking the qualifying questions. And so they were like, sir, you said she hit you, whatever. She's, she's very calm, very articulate. She's showing them the video. And then they saw the part where he said, I'm going to say you hit me. And the police were like, all right, sonny boy, nah. She was 10 foot. And then he was telling his partner, we literally raced the fuck over here to see this shit. And he's up here just mad at her for whatever, God knows whatever reason. And he's like, you were taking his ass to jail. Good. Get in there. Put your hands behind your back. What?
More because they are so fucking quick to weaponize the police.
All up in there.
I would say that you would think that the police by now would be like, this is something we're not going to entertain, but they love to entertain it because it's the only, then they get to really get rowdy, They get to really buck up and shit. You know what I mean?
They do. But yeah, we could be on our own. She was listening to her grooves, about to go see her son, he's at college, she's paying for that shit. And this motherfucker comes with his fucking bad dark cloud.
Just upset about nothing, literally nothing.
I'm thinking it's because she was a black lady in a Mercedes and not trying the fuck out of his house.
What it also is their weird way of trying to get your attention.
I like you?
Yes.
I've heard about this week
because
too.
They're the ones, let's be honest, like white people are absolutely the ones that started the myth that boys hit you because they like you.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
That's a disgusting.
You know what I'm saying? So of course they're like, well, because they just, you know what I'm saying? Because if she had been, I'm positive, because this has played out in my life quite a bit. I feel like if she had been like, I'm sorry, sir, I'll turn it down. He would have been like, oh, it wasn't that loud. What are you listening to anyway, by the way, leaning in on the window and shit. I'm telling you. It is a thin line between love and hate.
I think you got it. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear the thing that the black women are saying now? Don't ever, when you're in the workplace, don't ever, argue with a white man, because they will fetishize that shit and have you all going like this. And they will getting all hot and bothered, ooh.
Ew, I've never heard that, but I could see it being true. I give them very little, and I have actually decided if I go back into the 9-to-5 corporate space, and it's corporate, that I'm just gonna lie about everything. I'm not gonna tell them any truth about myself.
Thank you.
It's just gonna be a
girl,
target.
That is the way. That is the best way. You know what? With this cycle in my life, I think I have started being like that. Yeah, they don't know. They know little about me. I'm not helpful in that way. And that shit works for me. I go the fuck home. Yeah. And when I come to put my little corporate Keisha hat on and do what the fuck I need to do for those 8 hours, smile and wave, go the fuck home. Yeah. No drama, no issues, nobody dipping all in my business trying to compete with me on a level that is not, of course, not even, but I'm not here to compete.
I actually really love that for you, because that was one of the things that was so awful about my last job, especially because I was there for so long, especially post-COVID, because they had this slogan where they called everyone. And so there was this big, we are family bullshit. And so because of that, there was a lot of fake, tell me about yourself, tell me about your kids, look at my pictures, just all this nonsense. I mean, I feel like I texted you several times. It would be like, would you share this in a chat? Because it was just too much. And I will never work. That is a red flag for me now. Any place that says we're family, I'm out, because you are not my family.
You're a narc. You're not, because then when you know narcissistic people use things that they know against you. So that's kind of
Yep.
like how corporate America is.
It really is. That's who
They
HR.
use
HR
that
is like
shit.
head narc.
They're hair narc. They'll use that shit against you when it's appropriate for them to
Yep.
win whatever. Oh, don't
Whatever.
pipe
If
up, because
they
we
gotta lay you
know.
off, they gotta demote you.
Oh,
They're gonna be like,
don't you have a
well,
family?
yeah.